Hello everyone. Welcome to the fourth lecture of chapter 3. In this lecture, we will talk about grounded theory. Grounded theory is another approach that qualitative researchers use. If we talk about grounded theory, a grounded theory is a research in which you develop a theory from an action or a process. Something is going on, a certain action is taking place, but there's no theory related to it. There is a certain way how you market your product, but there is no theory. It is not based on any consumer theory. It's something new that you are doing. So when you go and you research about it and you develop a theory after observing what is going on, that is grounded on the participants and their experiences, and then you develop a principle out of that, or a marketing theory or a consumer theory out of that, then this can be termed as a grounded theory research. They are basically for 3 to 4 types of grounded theory, but the two main types are systematic and constructivist approach. If we talk about the systematic approach, in this systematic approach, you will be explaining the process or the action that is taking place, and you will be using theoretical sampling. Theoretical sampling is a kind of a sampling in which you collect data from each and every person who is involved in that particular process of doing the work. You may conduct around 20 to 30 interviews. You may analyze the events or the documents or the reports as well. And then you analyze them. You collect data till the point that you reach a data saturation state. Data saturation state means that you're not getting any new data. Give you an example, for example, if you have a glass and you fill it with water and it's completely filled, now when you are going to pour more water, there is no space for it, so the water is saturated. So when you start taking it, you identified 30 people who were there in the process, and then you conducted interviews of 21 people, and then from the 22, 23rd, and 24th, all three are saying the same thing. That means you have now reached a data saturation state. Nobody is telling you anything new. So you don't necessarily need to conduct all 30 interviews. You may stop at 23 or 24 because you have reached a data saturation state. In this systematic approach, we usually use three types of coding. That is what the data analysis stage does. We have an coding, axial coding, and selective coding. We will study coding in detail in, I think, in week 10 or 11. But just to give you an idea, you have all the analysis, then you start categorizing them, then you start, labeling them, then find out, then from those categorization you can create subcategories, then you select which are the most important ones, and then you create a kind of a flow chart or a visual model of what the theory is, the theoretical model that you are making of that particular process. So you use a systematic approach. You go and you observe what the process or the action is. You choose the people through theoretical sampling. That means everyone who is involved. You conduct their interviews, then you collect, after collecting the data, you have a proper systematic approach to the coding. You apply the coding. Usually the at the axial coding phase, you get the visual model, the flow chart, or the model that you have, which shows the entire series or the flow of how the work is going on. The second type of approach is the constructivist approach. In this approach, you are more interpreting what the theory is. You are looking at what is going on. You look at the process. You look at the what was going on. You look at the relationships between the people. You see that how was the manager reacting, how was the people reacting, what was going on. You see what the views are, what their experiences are, and from that you analyze the data. You may use your observation, the interviews, and then you make up that process, and you develop a theory not only based on what was going on, but also on the based on your interpretation and the behaviors and the experiences of the people that were there, and the hierarchy that is there as well. So usually in the conclusion you suggest something, but it cannot be a final one, because obviously you need to see what is going on there. So in systematic, you have a proper coding that you are doing, and then you are constructing a visual model. Whereas in constructivist approach, you are also looking at the interpretation, your own interpretation, and the interpretation of the people, their experiences, and the relationships that they have among them. So you are looking at the process and you are looking at the experiences as well. If we talk about procedure, the first you'll have to see whether grounded theory suits this type of research problem. whether a theory already exists or not, or if it exists, is it complete, is it not complete, is it actually applying? If the theory is incomplete, it is not, it is inadequate, or it is not existing, then you should opt for a grounded theory, because the something is, because the process is going on and there is no particular documented theory about it. So you focus on that, you focus on what is going on. Your data collection method is usually interviews with 20 to 30 participants till you reach a data saturation stage. You may add some additional questions to it. Your aim is to find out how things are working, and you either, if you create a visual model of it, and you add up the experiences as well. So again, as I said, data collection can be held in different stages. We can go for different coding as well. For example, in open coding, you segment them into different categories. In Excel coding, you kind of organize the codes as well to develop a visual model, and you see that exactly what is happening where. And then in the selective coding, you create the storyline by creating all of the categories. If you are having a difficulty in the coding, don't worry about that, but because we will study this in detail in week 10. For now, you need to know that in open coding, you are dividing into categories very easily. In Excel coding, you have a visual model, you are connecting the dots and seeing what is happening. But in selective coding, you are basically connecting all of the categories, and you're giving a storyline, and you're explaining what is happening. Then you may, as I said, you may develop a visual model of it. You may add up a theory as well, and then that theory needs to address that problem of those particular people. Then there are certain challenges. See, you need to understand that when you are developing a new theory, you need to keep the all the previous theories aside, so that a new theory can actually emerge. You cannot keep thinking about the previous theories, because now a new thing is getting emerged. Sometimes researchers have this problem. They don't understand whether the data has reached the saturated state or not, or whether they have the theory that they have is sufficient or not. So this is another one of the challenge, where the researcher has to be very proactive and understand. Along with that, the researcher has a very little flexibility, because the like I said, like in the systematic approach, there was a proper approach that you need to go through. There is a proper system that you need to go through. So a lot of time researchers feels that they have very little flexibility, and they have to go through all of the process that is there. So once again, if you want to work on a topic that which you see that there are certain processes that are going on, some maybe, as I said, a company has launched a new marketing technique and it is actually working, but there is no theory related to it in consumer buying behavior or in the marketing field. So you go and you observe the process, and then you develop a theory from that. You develop a visual model in the systematic approach, you understand the experiences, you can use a constructivist approach as well, and then you develop a theory for them that this is the way how things can be marketed. So from there you will develop a grounded theory which will be applicable to that certain group of people or that certain context. That will be it of lecture 4. Thank you.